It all started with something as simple as a lawn decoration. I had always loved garden gnomes, those little smiling figures that added personality to my yard. It began with just 5 of them, lined neatly by my flower bed, giving my property a touch of charm. I never thought they'd spark a neighborhood war. Karen, my neighbor across the street, didn't share the same love. She stormed over one day, arms crossed, demanding I remove them immediately. She claimed they were ugly, tacky, and made the neighborhood look bad. But here's the thing, my gnomes broke no HOA rules. They were perfectly legal. Her complaints didn't stop at my doorstep. She filed reports with the HOA, insisting I was lowering property values with cheap lawn ornaments. Each time, I received a letter demanding voluntary compliance, but I knew they couldn't enforce anything. That's when I had an idea. Instead of backing down, I decided to fight back, in the most ridiculous way possible. I bought more gnomes, 10 more, then 20. Each week I added to my collection. My yard began transforming into a miniature gnome village. Some were fishing by the pond, some stood proudly by the mailbox, others peeked from under bushes. Neighbors started noticing, and instead of siding with Karen, most of them loved it. They laughed, took pictures, and even brought their kids over to see the gnome army. Karen, of course, went ballistic. She screamed at board meetings, waving pictures of my yard like evidence of a crime. But every time the HOA lawyer repeated the same thing. There was no rule against gnomes. My army of little statues was untouchable. That's when Karen escalated. She tried shaming me in the neighborhood Facebook group, calling my home an eyesore. But the photos she posted backfired. People commented how creative and funny it was. Some even suggested I open it as a mini gnome garden attraction. Her plan to humiliate me only made my gnomes more famous. Finally, in a last-ditch effort, Karen planted a huge sign in her yard reading, "This neighborhood deserves better." But when people drove by, their eyes didn't go to her sign. They went to my yard, filled with smiling gnomes lit up with solar lanterns looking like something out of a storybook. Karen declared war, but in the end, it was my gnome army that won the battle. Not only did I keep them, I became a neighborhood legend. The HOA had to admit there was nothing they could do, and Karen was left fuming in her spotless, joyless yard while my little soldiers stood proudly on guard. So, who won? The gnomes did. And the best part? I'm already planning to add even more.